Silver, let's take a look. Very important over here. Listen up, everybody. This is super important. I want to cover this with you once again. Now, usually when someone has a question, other people have that same question. People are talking about, wait, whoa, I thought we're not supposed to chase momentum. What's going on over here? I just got burned. Let's look at that together. Let's really put on our learning hats over here and make sure that we're able to follow, because some people are just joining us. Some people have been here for months and or several months and have a really good feel for what we do here and how we do it. Other people are just learning over here. Let's go take a look over here. Jordan, we don't chase momentum. We get ahead of it. Me? Okay, sorry, Mr. Jordan. Exactly. I got crushed by silver today. It looks like we had a couple of people chasing momentum. Listen, you're probably not alone. Don't worry about it. Let's take a look at what we were looking at, though. Let's use this as a learning moment over here, because I pointed out the last entry we had was at 2650. Break of resistance, retest and resumption, flipped off support, conquering the markets all day long. Listen, this was not just called out here in hindsight. This was called out in real time as it's happening. I'm going to show that for you right now. Use this as a learning experience so you don't find yourself chasing after the momentum. And if you're still not familiar, there's plenty of resources available. That's what we do here, including over here below my course and the training program, digging in to conquering the markets. But I want to play these 3 short clips for you, and I want you to see how ahead of time, as price was over here on Friday, over here I pointed out, do not chase this spike up. Look for the pullback either into 26 and then the resumption off, or even down lower. Let's take a look at this in real time. That will bring an entry. Do you buy over here up 4.5%? No. Could this fade back down today and come in and test that trend line and maybe not even hold it? It can. Denver Bitcoin over here. Notice. All right, we have a couple of more though. Watch over here. Taking the time to educate themselves today rather than just jump into the trade. Nevertheless, we could follow our edge over here. We could follow what's happening on price, and that's what we do. Everything else doesn't even matter. If this over here, this support is retested and holds, that's an opportunity to go silver. That's an opportunity to go long silver. What happened? That's exactly what happened. I told you not to chase over here that morning. Price came back and tested that trend line. This was one of our scenarios that we called out that could happen. That's what happened. Price came back in and tested that and then flipped that broken resistance right here. This was resistance at 26, flipped it into support. And as it roomed off, that's the entry over there, conquering the markets all day long. Your entry at 2650, if you're not familiar, the course costs next to nothing. It's an absolutely invaluable resource. Do join us. You don't have to, by any means. You're part of this community if you're simply watching this right now. I just want to make sure everyone's on the right side over here so that you don't find people buying silver all the way up here at 30. What happens next? What happens next? If your stop loss, did you move your stop loss to break even as we broke through that next resistance over at 27.60, 64? Did you move your stop loss here to break even at 26.50? If so, you got stopped out of the trade, right? Break even, nothing ventured, nothing gained, no worries. You're here to push your winners. This wasn't one of them, right? Now you're ready from a neutral standpoint, ready to get back in the trade. We'll look at that in 1 second. We'll look at how you get back into that trade if you got stopped out, or maybe you realize that you're dealing with a super volatile asset over here. Maybe you're still in the trade, right? Maybe you're going off your original stop loss, a break back below this trend line where you know you're wrong on the trade. Either way, that's fine. Either way you're playing it, that's fine. If you're neutral now, I'm going to talk how you get back into this trade. And if you're still holding, obviously you're still holding and you're looking at a breakout over here, right? We're looking at a breakout occurring right now. I want to be able to show you what's going a breakout. And now we're coming back in for a retest. 27.64, it didn't hold, right? We're back in. We're still holding 26. If we resume off here, coming out in the next sessions, right? Is that a place to get back into this trade? Absolutely. Just because you're seeing on Reddit a bunch of traders, not even a bunch of traders, a small amount of traders who were able to take out a small illiquid market, GameStop. What was it trading at? It was trading at less than a $500 million market cap when they got involved. Just because a small bunch of traders were able to go ahead and fire some shots in a skirmish that definitely had some flesh wounds to Melvin Capital, billions of dollars of losses. That doesn't mean that they have the power to move markets or that they're even the players in this market. Silver's the big boys. Wall Street Bets is not involved in it. That's fine. Well, before any of this started, I talked about what I'm looking here in 2021 to see silver take out the 2020 high over here at 30. We took it out. Volatility. We're going higher. We are going higher, in my opinion. Make sure you use a stop. Make sure you manage your risk. And we're looking at $50 in 2021, taking out the new all-time high. Has that changed? Because a bunch of hedge funds got control of Reddit, Wall Street Bets. By the way, do you remember that Wall Street Bets on Reddit went offline? Do you remember they went private as Slack was taken off? We've seen the playbook before. We know how they shut down things that are against the establishment. Do you not think that Wall Street Bets on Reddit was infiltrated? I do. Who are you listening to now? Are you listening to a bunch of hedge funds trying to get you out of the trade? That's fine. Have fun. I'm following price, and I'm following price alone. Let's look at what happened over here as I explained later, a recap of the trade you're looking at for silver. Above there right now, this is where you're looking for, a retest of 26, broken resistance. If you get that and resume off of it, that's a conquering the markets entry all day long. And there we are. And there we are. So listen, good learning lesson. If you did chase momentum, the market is always going to be there and there is always opportunity, but it is playing from a position of strength. We have to play from a position of strength. That's silver right now, right? What are we looking at? That looks pretty bullish to me, right? And silver, by the way, has continued to look bullish, right? It looks super bullish. We've exited the portion that we've been tracking along over here. This long consolidation pullback. Look what I'm watching over here. Once we broke out, we've had a retest, resumption off, another test, right? And now off this second line of consolidation, another breakout over here. Looking very bullish. We're going to have to break 2430 in order for me to say, all right, this is changing. We've had a technical breakdown because every single trend line break doesn't wind up being a successful trade at all. Right? Always managing risk. If we break down below 2430, I'm going to say, all right, it looks like this trade is falling apart. Let's get on the sidelines. Let's wait for it to repair itself, and then we'll get back into the trade. However, right now, this is normal price action that we're watching over here. This is a huge breakout. To see some volatility over here, completely normal. Still looks very healthy. Still looks very bullish. Are you giving up your silver? Are you giving up? Anyone I know holding silver is just not even, they're not even smiling right now. This is just nothing. And that's all it is. Bitcoin, however, looking at 36,000. Bitcoin is trading above our 35,000 resistance over here. Very important. We were looking for that to be taken out. And now we're looking to challenge over here 38,500. I might have said 35,000 was the resistance over there. You could see we spiked above it, came back down, and now we're taking that out again. Very good, very healthy once we took out 35,000 resistance over here. I have my eyes now on this area over here. It's right around 38,000, 38,500. Take this out over here, and then I think that we are not only taking out the all-time high, but then we entering price discovery. I'm going to move my eyes towards 70,000 as that occurs and above, but we'll take it as it comes. Are we going to see that? Is the fire is going to be ignited tomorrow by MicroStrategy's corporate conference as they're meeting with we were meeting with board members and CEOs across the Fortune 500, making the case for Bitcoin, getting that on their balance sheet. Are we going to see an explosive move? I don't know. I hope so. If you look at what's happening on chain, if you look at where we are right now on this chart that you're all familiar with, what we saw on this pullback was right on time. This happened in past cycles right around here. We are at a 30% pullback. However, we're at now 267 days since the halving. In the first cycle and in the second cycle, 4-year cycle, if you're not familiar, the playlist on this channel, the Bitcoin playlist, will give you the best education that you're going to find in Bitcoin in understanding the 4-year cycle, which is ignited around the halving of the miners' ward every 4 years. If you look at the first 2 cycles, this next period over here, this next 60 days or so, is a period when Bitcoin has gone up and gone up with great force, almost, which is going to look vertical to us. Are we going to see something similar to that as we're coming out now of our 30% pullback as we look to be resuming out? It sure looks like it. Ethereum, this morning we were talking about Ethereum was consolidating right against the US dollar, right under the all-time high, right? It looked more bullish than Bitcoin. Ethereum leading the way right now, up 11%, breaking out over there. We talked about if we get that breakout, what the entry would look like, and that's going to be either the retest of this broken resistance, resumption off, conquering the markets all day long, or we're going to see this spike up, and then we're going to see some type of consolidation pattern, some type of pullback. We'll track it and look for the next entry. Ethereum looking good, and Ethereum Bitcoin resuming out of that trend line as well. Everything looks very healthy. Everything looks very good. S&P 500 breaking that resistance we were coming into this morning, right? The markets are not crashing. NASDAQ over here taking out that resistance as well. The markets, I said, if that were to happen, would be headed towards new all-time highs. Is stimulus talks going to be hitting the market soon? Is that what the markets are going to focus in on next? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. We're going to follow what's happening here on price and make sure we stay on the right side of the trade. By the way, all this is happening with the rising dollar over here. Dollar, next move, I'm going to be watching this trend line over here. That's not too much higher over there. By the way, the dollar as it's rising over here is nothing less than sideways, right? Let's take a look on the big picture over here. Let's pull this up over here so you can get a clear look at the DXY. By the way, this was the dollar milkshake playing out, right? This whole time down, I've jested. Hold on to your milkshakes, right? Because we have people holding on. Peter Schiff type style, holding on to their macro view, being on the wrong side of the trade for a long time. That's way too long for myself, at least. It was on this break right over here, this break of this support, that I became a dollar bear, even though I was a dollar bull. I had to trade what is happening. The Fed intervened over here. Then we had a technical breakdown. I had to get on the right side of the trade, and we have ridden this trade. When we had an opportunity for maybe breaking out, we made sure that we were watching that. We were going to get on the right side of the trade, fell back in, right? Now we're breaking out again. I've become a dollar, or I should say bullish on the dollar, right? This is nothing more than a downtrend. We're looking here to sell resistance in a downtrend. Next resistance comes between 92.11 and 92.56. Right? Even more so. We got more resistance up here at 94.72. Let's see how far this counter trend goes. But right now, should I be picking up my milkshake or anything like that? Listen, it's clear who's right. It's clear who has a track record of being on the right side of the trade. I'm bullish the dollar down here. It's the right time to get bullish on the dollar. If I fall back into that trend line over here, I will get very bearish the dollar once again, right? I'm also watching over here this pattern that's developing on the data. If I zoom out a little bit, you could see over this. I could see, does that look like a rising wedge to you? It does. That's a bearish pattern, by the way. It's a bearish extension pattern if it breaks down to the downside. I'll be tracking it with you to see if that happens. But right now, we just gotta stay on the right side of the trade and let it go. But it's not really going anywhere. It's still sideways. It's something like this long upward sloping consolidation pattern. Right? Anyway, that's what's going on. But with that strong, quote unquote, strong dollar, what do we have going on? Equities stronger, right? Gold and silver, feeling it today. Big deal. Big deal. Feeling it today, right? Silver, feeling it today. But we have Bitcoin doing its thing. Is a strong dollar going to derail Bitcoin in the first quarter 2021? Absolutely not. Everyone is steady. Everyone is clear. Everyone's involved in the most important trade that matters. What we're going to be focusing on going forward, and we can't right now, is FX and the currency markets. The greatest strength you could have is learning to trade. The greatest strength and edge you could have in the markets is understanding price action, is understanding the market structure of support and resistance with the help of trend lines and chart patterns. I do my best to help share that with you. We're going to dig in even deeper over into the FX currency markets, because if you get that right, if you understand how to trade there, you could trade any market with the greatest accuracy. Everyone, short but important update. I hope you have a beautiful day. I know I forgot to ask you, but if you're still here, thank you. Please go ahead and smash that like button. and I'll talk to you later.